Hey everyone! Welcome to another writing lesson. Today's writing lesson is going to focus on answering the question, what do you want more from a career, happiness or wealth? So, for this lesson today, we are going to be reading this article that kind of addresses this question, and then you are going to respond using the RACES method, RACECS, so RACES method, like usual in your Google Slideshow. So here we go. Go ahead and follow along with me, or you could read it independently. It's up to you. And then afterwards, we're going to go on to your Google Slideshow and add on to it. So here we go. A study published this week found that lawyers in public service jobs who made the least money, like public defenders or legal aid attorneys, were more likely to report being happy than lawyers with high-income jobs at corporate law firms. It seems that law students may have to choose between happiness and wealth before starting a career. Which would you choose? Okay, so this up here is basically saying that people who were in the public service industry, so they're giving lawyers as an example, people who were certain types of jobs in that field who made less money, they reported that they were happier. Whereas you would assume, you kind of like guess or assume that the people who made the most money would be the happiest. But in this case, that's not what was being reported. So let's continue on. In Lawyers with Lowest Pay report more happiness, Douglas Quenqua writes, I don't know if that's how you pronounce his name, but we're going to pretend that's how it is. Of the many rewards associated with becoming a lawyer, wealth, status, stimulating work, day-to-day happiness has never been high on the list. Perhaps, a new study suggests, that is because lawyers and law students are focusing on the wrong rewards. Researchers who surveyed 6,200 lawyers about their jobs and health found that the factors most frequently associated with success in the legal field, such as high income or a partner track job at a prestigious firm, had almost zero correlation with happiness and well-being. Okay, if you are looking for a quote, this would be a great one to add in. You don't have to add in the entire one. You can just add in part of it, or you could start it off, do ... and then finish it. But basically right here, what it's saying is that after research was surveyed or conducted, surveying 6,200 lawyers, they found that lawyers who were considered to be successful or lawyers who had a job at a really good workplace, they had almost zero correlation with happiness and well-being, meaning that even though they had a really good job at a really good law firm, made a lot of money, that didn't necessarily mean that there was a connection with their level of happiness. However, lawyers in public service jobs who made the least money, like public defenders or legal aid attorneys, were most likely to report being happy. Interesting. Lawyers in public service jobs also drank less alcohol than their higher income peers. And despite the large gap in affluence, the two groups reported about equal overall satisfaction with their lives. So this is saying that people who made a lot of money or made the most money, they were more likely to be drinkers rather than people who made less amount of money, they were less likely. Making partner the ultimate gold ring at many firms does not appear to pay off in greater happiness either. So if someone becomes a partner, ultimately that's usually one of the top goals that people in the law field, attorney industry have. So that's what this is saying right here. Making partner, it's the ultimate gold ring. It means it's the ultimate goal. It does not pay off in greater happiness. So even though that's the ultimate goal, it doesn't mean that person is likely to be happier. Junior partners, I think those are kind of like assistant partners, like one step down from being an actual partner. Well-being that was identical to that of senior associates who are paid 62% less according to the study, which was published this week in the George Washington Law Review. Okay, so junior partners, they got paid 62% less, and they were reporting to be just as happy as senior associates. So even though they're getting paid less amount of money, they were reporting to be happier or just as happy as other people at their jobs. Law students are famous for bustling their buns to make high grades, sometimes at the expense of health and relationships, thinking Later, I'll be happy because the American dream will be mine, said Lawrence S. Krieger, a law professor at Florida State University and an author of the study. Nice, except it doesn't work. Okay, so obviously the main point of view of this article is saying that it's more along the lines of happiness doesn't equal wealth, wealth doesn't equal happiness. But there are a lot of people that could argue saying that money can buy happiness and that ultimately a lot of good things will come out of making a lot of money. So this is when you guys get to do your additional research and start your writing. So go ahead and go to your Google Drive and find your distance learning writing prompts. A lot of you shared yours with me already, which is fantastic. If you haven't shared them with me, go ahead and share them with me. Don't forget. So right now you should have writing prompt 1 from the first week, writing prompt 2 from the second week, and we are going to make a copy of this one right now. So I'm going to go to... actually, I'm just going to right-click. I'm going to right-click and I'm going to click Duplicate Slide. So now I have a duplicate of this one, and in this case we're going to do writing prompt number 3. And we are going to type in the question, which is, what do you want more from a career? What do you want more from a career? Happiness or wealth? Happiness or wealth. Okay. Extend this a little bit further down. All right, so in this case, I am okay if you write this in first person. So I'm going to say that one more time. I am okay if you write this in first person. So you can use the words I, me, my, you, our, etc. These other two, though, you were not supposed to write those in first person. So if you go back and you look at your writing, you see that you included first person words in there, you got to change it, okay? But I'm okay if you write this in first person. So right here, we're going to do the R and the A. So you're either going to say, I would prefer to have more happiness or more wealth from my future career. Okay, so I'm going to underline this right here. So you're going to choose one. Either I would prefer to have more happiness from my future career, or I would prefer to have more wealth from my future career. You can rephrase that a little bit. It's kind of basic, but if you want a starting point, here you go. Okay, so choose one quote from an article that supports your argument. So you need to make sure that you choose a quote that has evidence or that has good points that support your claim, whether you would rather have more happiness or would you rather have more wealth. Okay, next one is, I need to move this down because I am in the way. Okay. Next one right here is explain and elaborate in at least 2 sentences. Use the word because that explains why this quote has something to do with your claim. Then you're going to choose another quote, same thing, elaborate again, and then sum it up. So last time we said, as one can see, fans put too much pressure. Do not put okay, so we can say, okay, so sorry guys, I had to kind of edit this part out a little bit just because I was trying to figure out a way to rephrase our topic sentence that would make the most sense. So I came up with this. Again, you can do your own, but this is just something to get you started if you're kind of stuck. For the sum it up, for the example, you could write down something like, after comparing the benefits between having more joy or having more money for my future career, I would rather have more either happiness or wealth. Something along those lines. I try to find synonyms for happiness and synonyms for wealth instead of being repetitive, okay? So go ahead and make sure that you put all these together. We have been having amazing discussions over in the office hours. People have been asking for me to look at their previous writing and we kind of talk about it. I write comments, we dialogue. Some people just jump in and they just want to look in and listen at how I review people's and they get ideas and they're like, okay, I feel better now, I know what to do. Some people literally want me to look and say, hey, Miss Cameron, can you look and see what I wrote? And can you edit it for me? I edit it in front of everyone right then and there. Both options are great. So if you are stuck or if you want me to review any of your writing, like in real time, go ahead and jump on the office hours, okay? So this is an interesting topic. I'm curious to see what you guys come up with. And again, if you want to look at other articles, that's fine. Just make sure that you cite them by including the title of the article, okay? It was so great doing another writing prompt with you guys. I hope you have an awesome day, and I will talk to you soon.